All right, season 7, episode 5, Rush. This is about a very fast guy and how it's killing him. Speed kills.
Speed does kill.
Speed kills. Hey, jerk, speed kills. Yeah, this is a kid who finds this like cave.
Yeah.
And the light beaming through the cave, I guess, gives him super speed,
It's
like
like
the
a
Flash.
it's like a magical cave.
Yeah.
That has whether it's magic or like some weird physics property.
Something
changes when you go into the light and you become like faster than light.
But and what I do like about this is that in most superhero shows or movies, they always, of course, come with like regenerative abilities, or they always have some explanation for why these guys can withstand all of these changes to their body and running that speed on your joints as a human would be detrimental to your physiology, right? So to have that actually addressed here, see, like
Don't they handle that in the Flash?
so in the Flash TV show on the CW, at first Barry is like really drained and his electrolytes and his sugars are like depleted to nothing. So he has to have a concoction made for him to where he can consume tons of like electrolytes and calories and sugars and whatever. He has like a specific blend of drink that he drinks so that he doesn't burn up all his energy. Now, this is, of course, one of these things where it's only just for like an episode, and then he never fucking drinks that shit again ever. It's only addressing one episode, but it's like, at least you addressed it. But you never see him drink the shit again ever in the show. But in this one, I do like that. He finds out that his body is dying.
Yeah.
Because working at that speed, it's like burning the candles at both ends kind of thing. It's like you can't do that much damage to your body.
Right.
The faster you move, it's like, if I go out and I walk 1,000 miles, that's 1,000 miles of wear and tear on my joints and my body, and of course the friction and the speed, where bodies aren't meant to. Now, in reality, if we were really getting into the reality of this, his body would just tear apart completely if he was to try to move at that speed, because the speed in which they're moving is like almost it's past the speed of light.
Yeah.
I mean, our bodies are not meant. We can only take about like 10 G's, and it's the speed of light. You're not in a vessel and you're just a human, like moving at that speed, it would tear the flesh from your skin, your bones would break.
He doesn't wear any kind of special suit or anything. It's just them.
No. Yeah, you're right. And Barry wears the suit for friction.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that there's like a kind of a more realistic approach, I guess. Like a consequence happening as a result of the power. And this other girl is also like there's two other people that basically stand in the light and get this ability. Right? It's like this other girl and then the like main kid.
Yeah, the bully kid is obviously the one that gets it first.
Yeah.
And then our main kid ends up getting it and using it to eventually defeat his adversary. But it's ultimately the girl who does it, and then I think
she sacrifices herself.
She kills herself.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't she kill herself?
I think she sacrifices herself to save him. Because it's like she stands in front of a bullet.
I thought that, yeah.
Right? Isn't that what happens?
She fires the bullet, and then she shoots him, but then purposely stands in front of her own bullet and kills herself. She's not sacrificing herself. She's killing herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, she steps in front of her own bullet is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this at the end, I know of this episode, like the Mulder's like they caved it in. Like we can't even study that area because they've like
they do go in there, but
they do go in.
But Mulder comes to the conclusion that in order to gain the power, you have to be young.
Oh, but they also at the end, don't they like say that it's like
seal it up
they
with
collapse
concrete.
the cave or whatever?
No, they seal it with concrete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like nobody can get in there anymore.
Yeah. That's probably what
Yeah.
they told them they
One
did.
thing that I like about this episode and that I wish we had more of in the X-Files and just in shows in general, because I'm a really big fan of it, is like this idea that there's places in the world where something like really peculiar or like unusual can happen, whether it's like to physics or time or like these pockets of like strangeness.
Yeah.
I always think that that's a very fascinating concept, and I wish that there was more of that in the X-Files, because we get
Eh,
a ton of monsters but we don't get a lot of
I
like,
feel like that's pretty common in
I guess
these.
it, I mean, here and there, but like
Mulder's always about like in this area this thing happens, and I mean, one of the first,
it
if
just
not the
feels like
first episode, is that it's
if
when he goes and he spray paints the X on the ground because in that area
yes, you're right. In the first episode, yeah.
but I
But
feel
I
like
don't know. I feel like most of the time it's like in this area there's a legend of this monster. Or in this area at this time, like with like an event happening or something. But but
I
that's
don't
fair.
know.
I don't
I
know.
feel like there's a
This one is
ton
just
of
like
that.
it's like there all the time, and
There's
it's been there since like forever, kind of a thing.
there's the Bermuda Triangle,
Yeah.
right? There's the forest with the ring of the mites that are like flying around and
Mm.
killing people, but it only happens in that specific area. I feel like it's
I guess
always
you're
like
right.
kind of I would say half the time it's about an event takes place in this area because this area is more prone to these
Mm.
events because of like its electromagnetic field or because of its iron source and the whatever.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
But I know what you're
Maybe I'm
saying.
like,
I
yeah.
know what you're saying. I just feel like it's not focused on,
Yeah.
right? As to where this one, we see the place that they go to find their power, and that it's really addressed on like Mulder's theory towards that specific area and all of his theories and whatnot. So I don't know. I get what you're saying, but they don't want to rinse, lather, repeat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, of course not.
um in this episode there's a couple funny things. So number one, we get a young and thin and Dowd, which was interesting to see. Nowadays, obviously we know her from like Hereditary and whatnot, and she's a larger woman at this point, and also older, and to see her young and thin here was interesting. When they're taking their test and the guy comes up and he takes the test in 1 second,
Yeah, yeah.
and he's like, what, you can check it, everything's right. And it's like, you took it in 1 second,
Yeah, he would think
you
you
clearly
cheated.
cheated.
There's
There's
no
no way you could
yes.
possibly argue that I actually took the test. You couldn't have read the questions in
Yes.
1 second.
Yeah,
He just
literally.
turns around, he goes, I'm done, and then he hands it in. He's like, I did it. And the guy like checks it. Why would you even bother checking it?
No.
It's like, you couldn't have done that. You clearly just switched the test or something.
Yeah.
You stole it. This is the most obvious case of cheating I've ever seen. The guy's just a dumbass. Why not go sit at your table, swipe it really quick, do the test, and then just kind of pretend you're working for like 10
Yeah.
minutes or something?
Well, because he's like showing off,
I
which is
get that he's
stupid
showing
though,
off, but
because it's like
1 second,
you know that you won't get that like, yeah, like you said,
you
it's just
show off by
it's
doing
so
it in 5
suspicious.
minutes, 10
Yes.
minutes. You don't
Yes.
show off by doing it in literally
Yes.
he turns his back to him and then turns around, as long as it takes for you to make a circle.
Right.
And he's like, did it. And it's like 100 questions.
Yeah.
Bro, you can't even fill them out that fast. No human could.
Yeah.
So why would you? It's so
Yeah,
stupid.
it's very silly.
The fact that the teacher isn't just straight up like, you clearly cheated. There's no way you could not have cheated. Why would he even bother checking it?
I feel like a lot of the like teenagers in this show are always like bad. You know what I mean? They're always like problem kids.
Well, Chris Carter must have wrote "Teenagers Scare
Yeah.
the living shit out
He
of me."
must have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, the teacher, that very same teacher, just gets himself killed for doing nothing but his job. He just tries to step in, and the kid throws him across, and like because he
Oh my
like kills him
gosh.
or whatever, he like beats his ass and throws him around the school, and he ends
Yeah.
up dying from it. And it's like the
He
guy was
gets
literally just doing his job.
he
Nothing
gets
else.
like
He
cut
does.
in half by the table.
Yeah, he does nothing
Which is
wrong. He's
crazy.
not being a dick about anything. He seems like
No.
a totally fine, normal teacher. Gets himself killed for genuinely just doing his job and doing it well.
Yeah.
That is
It's
so
messed up.
so unfair and so angering to me.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Teenagers scare the living shit out of me.
Indeed, indeed. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fine one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
we get a in the opening. We actually get some decent gore. There's a guy with a completely caved in face.
Oh yeah, that's right. There is actually a pretty good gore. Sometimes the show is like there's a few times when we've been like, "Whoa, like where did that
it
come
just
from?"
comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right. That was some pretty good gore for X-Files for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was noteworthy.
yeah,
because the guy takes like a mag light flashlight
yeah,
and just like rams it through his head with one hit because of the speed,
it's
and that's
messed
like
up.
what leads them to the X-File, because
Right.
it's like what could have done this to the body.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's one hit. It doesn't look like it's been bashed repeatedly. Like who could have such strength?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But you would just think like they brought some kind of mechanical tool with them, almost like Anton Chigurh's, like his little cow gun that he uses on everybody.
Yeah.
with the like the tank.
Oh my god, that's so scary. I remember when I watched that movie and I was like, why is this terrifying? Like, why is that actually the scariest thing I've ever seen?
No Country for Old Men is the movie we're referencing if you don't know what we're talking about. And
it's freaky.
100 out of 100 movie, definitely worth your time. So I don't know why I made the rating so high there.
Yeah, it was like a kind of intense.
I was gonna say like 100%
You're
worth
like
your time.
100 out of
like
100.
100 out of 100. 100 out of 10. Masterpiece.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right.
Bye.